and we are live and uncensored. Episode 11 is here. We're ready to go, and tonight we have a very special episode for everybody listening at home or listening to this in your car, whatever. You got police sirens. Hey, Max is Jersey. I'm New York City. You're gonna hear police sirens, man. Busy city. That's just how it goes. But you can hear the man right there laughing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and my privilege to introduce to you all a man who is very artistic, a man who is an entrepreneur. He's accomplished many things in CAW. We're going to have a good time talking with him. Welcome to the comments, Billy. We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk to this man for 1 hour. And he's the founder of Xvpw, but he's also got other stuff he's done as well. And that's what we're going to explore in this interview here. We're going to have a good time. Now, he's got me tomorrow live on the Xvpw channel, 5 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. He's going to be talking to Kevin Impact. But tonight it's about the man himself. So, Maxie, welcome to the show. You're on JTV Live.
What's good, JTV? What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Maximillion, founder, creator of Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. We're not just an alternative, we're the extreme alternative. And thank you, Jay. Thank you, Kevin Impact, for having me into your show.
Very, very nice. Now I'm gonna.
We are live and uncensored. Anything can happen. What is it gonna happen? Anything can happen here in JTV. We're raw and uncensored. We keep it raw.
Is that dope? That was dope, right? Yeah.
Yeah, man, that works. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of having a fuss right now because I can't find my questions that I had for you.
It's all good.
And
while you're finding those while you're finding those questions, I'm gonna plug in my show. Yo, guys, like, comment, subscribe to Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. We out here, we doing our thing. New York is in the house. Jersey's in the house. Chill Town.
Well, goddamn. I guess we're running with no script, man. We're running with no script. I forgot to save my questions, so I'm going off the heels, man. I'm going off the heels on what I think I remember. Shit. Well, like I said, we're here. We got Max. We can ask him anything that we want. We are live. More viewers are going to come in eventually whenever you guys enjoy this. We got this man. We'll talk to him for an hour. So
yeah, man.
We've already said that over and over. So we'll start with this from what I remember. You obviously have a lot you've accomplished in CAW, and you got your own thing going on. You live a very interesting life, and I want to kind of dig into some of that, but I want to go back in time a little bit.
Okay.
I want to talk to you about your formative years. You know, coming up a little bit, what you like, what you didn't like, you know, maybe with school, maybe with your life, maybe stuff that was going on. How was life for you coming up, man? Take us through that.
All right, so you want me to just talk about, not CAW, but just really about...
Just you, the guy, the person, the creator, right. Coming up, you know, maybe when you was a teenager, maybe when you was a kid. How was life? What did you like about, you know, coming up and stuff like that? Yeah.
All right. So I was always an artistic guy. You know, I loved drawing. That was my escape. You know, I wasn't the brightest, but I loved being an artist. You know.
Right.
Outside of that, how I got into enjoying wrestling. My dad, rest in peace. He loved wrestling. We used to watch wrestling every Saturday back in like the early 90s. I was a big fan of, you know, the fandoms back then, Ghostbusters, X-Men, etc., etc.
Okay.
I never had cable TV, so during my teen years, SmackDown was where it's at. You know, so let's talk about like the late 90s. So I wasn't a big fan of like the wrestling back then, but I was a big fan of Shawn Michaels.
Right.
So my dad would love like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, all those like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man. But I was a big fan of Shawn Michaels. I stopped watching wrestling after that. Then what got me back into it was SmackDown.
Right.
Then later on, we had a house in the Poconos, and we would watch SmackDown, but my friends and I would watch ECW. And that's where I became a huge fan, because in the house in Poconos, we were able to get that channel. We would watch it late night.
That explains that little edgy TV ECW style thing you got going on.
Exactly. So we would watch ECW, and we hit puberty really early because next thing you know, we're watching Girls Gone Wild. They would advertise that shit, or those late night infomercials.
I remember that. Remember that.
So So that's how I got into it. So when I tell people that's the reason why I never got into WCW or Monday Night Raw, because back then I lived through the Monday Night Wars, but I would always hear it on Tuesday. So I never really got a chance to watch, like, because we didn't have cable, you know? My family and I couldn't afford cable, or they didn't want it. So fast forward, like I said, I was an artist and all that stuff. I got into graphic design.
Okay.
In college, I majored in it. Got into photography, editing, Photoshop, etc., etc. So, like I said, I was always
That explains all the skill that he has on the show, folks. So,
exactly.
There you go. That makes sense.
So I always had an eye for visually communicating with an audience.
Right.
That was my thing. Like, my friends will always, like, back in MySpace, say, hey, can you design my MySpace page? Oh, I got you. Sure, no problem. Like, that was the go-to guy, you know?
Right.
I'm a big fan of anime, you know? Let's see. Big fan of Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh! My friends and I, we were like huge fans of Yu-Gi-Oh! Tabletop gaming. Still am. Also a big fan of Pokemon. Like my favorite Pokemon is Umbreon. Shout out to Umbreon, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I'm deep down, I'm a huge geek, you know.
Right.
A lot of fandoms. So let's talk about my YouTube career. Okay, so like I said, I was a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Right.
The Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube or Yu-Gi-Tuber community is very small. Right now, I can say that there's a lot of people with the access of social media. There's a lot of people now, but the past 4 years, it was very small. So I was one of the few YouTubers that was coming up. So me and my friends, again, we're huge wrestling fans, you know, fandom and whatnot, but I got into YouTube through Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I wanted to be part of that community, represent my locals, and so I got into videography back through that. Also, I'm a big music head, so I was also in a b-boy crew, a breakdancing crew, Natural Born Killers, from Chilltown, Jersey City.
Wow.
So, like, again, that artistic side, you know? So I love creating, like, videos, music, dance reels, etc., etc. And I was able to make a really dope documentary about my crew. Because we're very, like, everybody knows about the New York dance scene, the b-boy scene, the breakdancing scene. But I was never able to tell the story of the Jersey scene. And my dance crew, NBK, played a really huge role into that. So I got all my videography skills through that, through Yu-Gi-Oh! And dance. Then fast forward, Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling happened, and I love telling that, like, the story of that. So.
Oh, I know. I remember the old story, and I want you to tell them the story that you told me and the guys when we was in the party. But you know, you dropped Jersey. You mentioned Jersey, and it's very interesting. I grew up being in and out of Jersey because there was Cuban food. So we used
Oh,
to,
hell yeah.
you know, we used to go to the what was it? Is it City Island? I think. I think so. I think so. We used to go to City Island to get some food, and there's a couple of places as a kid I remember going. I remember I got an Undertaker and like a Stone Cold keychain thing that I used to have, and some magazines from over there back in like 99, 98 maybe. It was probably even 96 or something, but a lot of good times in Jersey. And it's funny, man, we're trying to get it together and go down to Jersey on the 25th for AEW, which
man, March 25th.
That's where I'm going to catch your ass at. So there's going to be a lot of us invading that show that's going to be in town, and it should be real fun. I'm looking forward to meeting you. But we you know, I took a look around, and there's a lot of places that close out, you know, around the Prudential Center. Do you like Jersey more, or do you enjoy like Manhattan more, or Brooklyn? You know, you've traveled to Queens. I've seen some of your videos. You know, do you like your city more, or do you enjoy coming to New York more? What do you think?
Jersey City, aka Chilltown, that's what a lot of people call it, or Dirty Jersey.
Right.
So Jersey City is pretty cool.
Right.
But I enjoy coming to Manhattan because you know you guys have a lot more to offer. Stores.
Yep.
That's where like outside of like there's like two wrestling scenes over there. HOG and Evolve. They go there a lot. Like every other month. HOG is once a month. You know, so I like going there. It's thanks to the independent wrestling scene that I'm able to go to New York a lot more and discover a lot of places. Jersey is very relaxed, chill.
Yeah.
So it's both. You know, they're starting to call Jersey the Little Manhattan because with all the skyscrapers and stuff that they're building now down here.
So don't think he forgot about y'all, Jersey. He's still showing love to his town, showing some love back. Shout out to both. I love Jersey, you know. But all right, cool. So this is where it kind of gets interesting for y'all.
Okay.
You know, we got an opportunity to talk to Max a while back, and he started breaking us into the whole deal with how Xvpw came up. Now, I want him to tell you guys the story. He've already answered one of my questions that I had, which was basically just about how you got into YouTube altogether. So that's obviously something I wanted to know, and we got that. You know, obviously it was through Yu-Gi-Oh, like you said, and boom, here comes the huge sensation. So that would explain your other channel, right?
The 4i. So you guys want to check out like YouTube videos of like that's not wrestling. I have a 4i's channel. He cites the number 4 EYEZ. And you're able to see like a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Me going to tournaments. I did like a couple of stuff that's outside of Yu-Gi-Oh, but that's mostly what my channel is.
Right. So you still have access to that channel, right? You can get into it?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
All right, cool. I'm gonna try to put that channel in the comments section for all of y'all if y'all want to go ahead and subscribe to him, give him a thumbs up.
Yeah, don't think that I got into Xvpw, I quit my other channel. Nah, it's just Xvpw took up a lot of my time, but I'm still trying to get back into the Yu-Gi-Oh scene because a lot of my my audience there really
Max,
miss me.
When you put in the time and effort that you put into editing Xvpw per episode, bro, it's just, come on, like you edit out the smallest little fucking details. And I like there was something that I'm gonna quote you on this. There was something that you said that I liked that I thought was very realistic, and it points out the whole 3 out of 10 thing that I'm pointing out in CAW. And it's basically just that you said something about some of these cats be out here trying to have shows and put shows together, but they'll have a fucking promo that's 10 minutes of a portrait. And it's fucking true, dude. It's like, yo, how are you gonna have a 10-minute fucking portrait video? Like, you gotta do something with it to change it up, you know, to keep people interested. The guy's gotta at least move. he's got to at least move. You know what I mean? So I like when you said that, and that's a testament to how you think. You have that 10 out of 10 mindset that basically it's like you got to fucking do the work. Do the work. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
So I like that. So now that we've gotten a taste of how basically your life was an adventure coming up, you know, just a regular guy, dirty jersey, having fun, you know, being into anime and Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that, living life, you know, getting into art, having a successful career in college and stuff like that. You know, now we know how is it that you're such a good editor. Now we understand, you know, the buildup of this whole thing, the base. So now, let's see, we move into the whole CAW and XVPW scene. Before you tell these guys about, well, probably you can answer all this all together. So I'm going to let you take over and basically tell them how you got into CAW, what started it for you, and then the formation of XVPW. And then I have some more questions.
All right, we'll do. And I'm going to answer Red Billy Dog's F8 question too, is what got you in the car. So yeah.
All right.
All right. So let's see. No Mercy. Started with No Mercy, right? Then WrestleMania 2000.
Wow. Cool.
But that's like, I guess, the generic story of, damn, we created our character, but there's no way to, like, put it through whatever social media or YouTube out thing, you know, or recording, etc., etc.
Right.
So, you know, that's how it happened. I remember I used to bring my N64 to school, and me and my friends would play, you know?
Wow.
So I remember I made a World Rumble. I created my teachers, and yeah, our teachers would watch, you know. I remember my boy Jim, shout out to him. He's known as Showtime. So he would always get the latest video game. Like, he was that privilege of a kid, you know. The dad would get him if he gets good grades. So I remember we would walk to school, me, Sean, aka Biggs. We would always go to his house, and I remember Shut Your Mouth was right there. And that thing, that's the one with Triple H finally blows out the water for the water bottle. We marked that hard as hell. And what was the first thing that happened? They would make me create their character, because, you know, that graphic design in me, like, I know how to create people, make them look exactly like the way they look, etc., etc.
Wow. Okay.
So I was that go-to guy.
Yeah.
And I was the last one to make myself, because I would always pick with my moves. So that's what happened. Fast forward, Here Comes the Pain came out. That was probably the best one. So yeah, that's basically. Then you fast forward to the YouTube days. All right. So I remember the way XVPW was born was, it was Christmas. Team FSU, Fuck Shut Up, which is the Yu-Gi-Oh group, aka Bullet Club, because we were huge fans of those guys.
Right.
Because Yu-Gi-Oh back then didn't really have factions, they had teams, right? So it's like rep your team, aka rep your store. We were the raunchy guys. We talked a lot of shit because we were big fans of like what the NWO, DX, etc., etc.
Right.
So my team was wrestling fans, but we weren't to be messed with in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like we held Jersey City down. Every time we're in the locals, we would all 4 of us or 8 of us would make top 8. I would lose on purpose just so, hey, we made the top 8, fuck it. You know, that's it. Let's get our prizes and be out. So I remember we cut a promo and calling every guy out, saying, "Hey, if you think you can back up what you can do, come to our locals and meet us in the tables. We'll play for cards. We'll do whatever it takes to make it to top 8, our group at least." So Christmas happened, like I said, and I created everybody from our group, and it'll be like background noise while we did like this whole Secret Santa thing with like all like 12 of us and whatnot. I created everybody in FSU, and I was just looking at the screen like, this could be something, but whatever. Following, like, I think a month later, we invited one of our friends who's also a big fan of wrestling / Yu-Gi-Oh! And it was his channel. His name was Joe Grizz from Team Avalanche. He has like 13,000 fucking followers or whatnot, subscribers on YouTube.
Cool.
So hey, let's do like a segment, like a skit, you know?
Right.
And there was a lot of acting. So my group, FSU, you can see it in my channel. It's like the featured video. So we did like a wrestling thing where we called out like Joe Grizz from Team Avalanche. Then Joe Grizz would respond, and he had like a luchador, which was played with one of our friends. So it's Polarized from Team FSU versus Joe Grizz from Team Avalanche. And it was such a well done video that in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, it's never been done before. Like when you look at the Yu-Gi-Oh community, it's look at whatever won, whatever top 8 in regionals and a deck build. In my channel, we had like a vlog, skits, outside of the generic stuff. We also had like comedy and whatever. So that's what stood out of my channel, a lot of skits. The one that got a really good amount of views was the wrestling one.
Right.
So right then and there, I realized, like, my eyes were open, like, yo, let's make a freaking like show, you know?
When was this though? What year was this?
Oh shit, this was like 2016, 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't far away. It was like, I could tell you the game. It was 2K17.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one where I created everybody, and yeah. So the video did so well, and I was like, my creative bulb just came out, and I'm like, yo, let's do a show. Fuck it. Everybody's dedicated. We see each other every day. Let's make a freaking wrestling show outside of this game. He was like, fuck it, let's do it. So next thing you know, Xvpw was born. There was a simple concept of a video of, let's make a tournament. It'll be like one episode, one match, and the goal is to get the Xvpw championship. But the way I came up with the name Xvpw is, I was a big fan of ECW. Yeah, as you can tell by watching our videos. It was like extreme. Then I was like, okay, virtual, because we're virtual, right? It's a video game that's virtual, and pro wrestling. And there you go, extreme virtual pro wrestling. I made sure before I published, before I make anything, we get our Twitter, Instagram, and everything completed. Like, make sure nobody didn't copy the name.
Absolutely.
And Xvpw was born. My friends were in it. We did like some comedy stuff, and yeah, I wanted to stand out. Okay, so that was season 1. The goal to get the championship. I already had a champion who was already in my mind. So the last episode was a championship match, and that's when a lot of people messaged me. It was the first 2 was Ryan Paul Jones from El Dorado Championship Wrestling, and the other one was Cash. He was from COH, and I believe like El Dorado 2 and AWF, American Wrestling Federation.
Right.
So those 2 messaged me, and Cash and Ryan got me into this group, and I was surprised because I did not know that there was a community already that did this. You know, I didn't know. So they looked at our show and they were like, yo, these guys, how long they've been doing it? How long have you been doing it? Like, it was so different. I didn't master the highlight reel. Like, it was just generic as hell. But what stood us out was the fact that everything was live. You know, these live promos, comedy, etc., etc. I purchased a green screen on our last 2 episodes because I wanted to stand us out.
Holy shit.
So yeah, if the people ask me how much I spent on Xvpw, I could say I spent probably $5,000+.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
I purchased a freaking DSLR, which is basically 800, just for this freaking show. You know, because I wanted us to be legit. I wanted us to stand out. You know. All right, so I didn't plan on making a season 2. I didn't had the idea of it. But the fact that I got into this and everybody was asking, etc., like, hey, we love season 1. Are you guys gonna do a season 2? I didn't have a mind for it. The next thing you know, I was looking at other people's stuff, right? So that's when I checked out COH, Eldorado, AWF. There was a call All Stars, and I remember there was another one that. So I did my research and I was looking at 2K stuff. There was like another Stardom or something like that was there. So I was looking at this. I was looking at the way if I was ever to do a season 2 was I need to master this highlight reel. All right, so boom, me and my group had a meeting. I called everybody to my crib. It was all like 14 of us. And I was like, hey guys, do you want to do like a season 2? They were like, if you have time, yeah. Then I'm like, all right, you know, I'll write out the script, and you know, so let's. And then a lot of people were like for it, but I told them like, yo, if you're gonna do this, it has to be better than season 1. Like everybody got to put in a lot of work. They're like, fuck, let's do it.
Right.
So I recruited. I signed an extra 4 people because they really wanted it. They really wanted to become part of Xvpw. One of them was Zulite. He was a big fan of the show. He really wanted it. And there's a guy that was from not anywhere in. He's basically from like the suburbs. Like he's like, there's no way of reaching this guy. But we were always talking through the internet. The another guy was my best friend Jim. His name is Showtime. Then it was the Wolf King. That was Tony. A guy that I met through high school. We were best friends. And next thing you know, he became a huge part of it. Then, yeah. So that happened. And when I did my research, I'm like, how can we stand out from these other shows? Because keep in mind, this is now really doing my research. How can we stand out from other shows? You know, everybody got the fancy stadium, the Raw, the SmackDown with like a huge audience. Some of them mastered the highlight reel. I'm just learning the highlight reel. Some people are using GTA 5. So I'm like, all right, you know. They're still doing the whole portrait mode that pisses me off. Their shows are like freaking 2-hour long. I'm like, yo, how can I stand out? Like, there's got to be something. I have a green screen. What can I do?
Right.
So I'm like, then it kicked me. Then it like really clicked to me. I have to do in-ring promos, like in-ring segments with this green screen. I had to utilize this green screen. So that's what really is gonna stand us out.
Right.
So I remember we did like in-ring promo. We were learning mic skills and everything. So there you go. That was the kickoff to season 2. And outside of like me going to like wrestling events and getting these shout-outs from real wrestlers, that was like I didn't care about that. I just want to know what can I stand out from these other shows. So it was also. How can I tell a story of us, you know, not just because of, not of each character, but how can I tell a story of Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling? So this is where the comedic part comes in. What can be extreme, right? So our general manager is a coke head, he's a coke addict. He spends all his money on porn, you know. So he spends the company money on those type of stuff that's not part of the Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling, like, and that's why we're so frustrated at him. So the Xvpw arena is going to be in St. Beth's School for the Blind and Deaf. Why? Because all our matches is 5 stars and nobody watches it, and that can explain the views that we have and the subscribers that we got.
Right.
So there you go. So that's one. So that explains why we were in the school. The second one is basically like everybody has a story, you know. But that I want everything to make sense.
Yeah.
And that's basically how the Xvpw story came about. So getting the arena, which is the school, signing people that they basically work for free, you know, but they still want their money. So yeah, that's basically how it is, man.
Well, that's great, and I love the little backstory thing that you came up with for yourself for Xvpw. I remember you telling us about what's his name? Fuck, I can't remember. One of your guys.
Dan Jabroni.
Dan Jabroni. Dan Jabroni. We're gonna go back to you in a little bit, Dan Jabroni.
He ends up joining the movement.
I wanted to, let's see. In some of these shows that you go to, some of these wrestlers that you meet and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. They all give you shout outs on Xvpw. Very, very unique. Not everybody's doing that in CAW. That's what makes you unique in itself. And you go through a lot to do that. The fact that you spend all this money on a green screen and all this, which I didn't know how that worked. I always kind of thought you had like some kind of studio you went to somewhere out there where there was a green screen or something. No, you paid for it. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. So don't ever tell me not to give you enough credit, Max. Take all the credit you deserve, bro. You work hard, you deserve your spotlight because you spent money on this. You deserve to get your credit. And folks, the CW, you know, no matter who you are, if you work hard enough, you know, you're gonna get rewarded. It's all about doing the work and proving yourself. You deserve it.
Facts.
So you go to these shows, you travel, you got really nice videos on your channel. You plug the old channel. How can people find you on the Xvpw channel?
You just have to type Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. Not with the EX, but with the X.
That's it. That's what I type in, and it comes right up, guys. So you'll be able to find it.
Especially, I made sure of that when I thought of the name. I was like, Xvpw. If you type Xvpw on Google, I'm pretty sure you'll see like us on the top searches of Google.
So that's how you find them, Funk Man. If you want to watch them, I know you listening in, but. And if it's not good enough, I will put that channel in the comment section as well, in the information section of the video as well. Shortly after this episode is done, we're now 33 minutes in. We're talking to the incomparable Maximillion. Is that about right?
Yeah, man.
Maximillion, founder of Xvpw. We're having a good time here. Definitely subscribe to both his channel, as he said. I'm gonna put them in the information of the video, like I said. But I thought it was cool that you got to meet all these people. I was just wondering, what do you tell these people when you get them to do shout-outs?
Oh, just gotta be honest, man. Alright, so these last 2 years has been, my mindset has been nothing but Xvpw.
Right.
Like, I don't go to these indie shows to, okay, so when I go to these shows to, my main number one is to get these shoutouts. I do this for my fans. I don't do it for myself.
Okay.
I do it for the people who are like subscribers and all. Because I feel like if they see me put in the effort to get these shoutouts just to entertain my fans, then that's all that really matters. Yeah, I can watch an indie show and enjoy indie wrestling, you know, but majority of the time it's for Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. You know, like getting a Johnny Gargano shout out, getting a Ciampa shout out.
Right.
So like I learned more about the business because of Xvpw. So example, when I saw the Young Bucks, right? That was another reason why I made season 2, to be honest, because during that time, being the elite was the biggest thing ever, and hearing their story kind of motivated me to do a season 2.
You're like a journalist now, basically. You go into these events to get that shout out from these people. You're like a journalist.
Yeah. So, well, I remember I told them the story that I finally saw the Young Bucks, and I'm actually in being the elite. That's funny, because I think I was like the opening scene. Like I'm telling yo, like it's thanks to you guys I have this show. You know, I see the hard work that you guys put into being the elite just by filming with your phone. And me and my group made the show, and you know, while they're hearing my story of how I came to be part, like how I created Xvpw, the fact that, you know, I had to, whatever I told you, I had to put it down in like 3 minutes, you know. So when I showed them my Instagram and everything, like, hey, we came up with like look at these shout outs, and I was like, it'll be such an honor, you know, if you shout out my show, you know, because I know my fans would love it, etc., etc. Then they're like, yeah, man, sure, no problem. And they were down to do a shout out. Same thing what I did with Johnny Gargano. Same thing I did with Scott Hall. Sometimes too, the indie wrestler guys, like they're really cool, and they'll do it for free. You know, just seeing how passionate you are about wrestling. You got to be honest with them. You know, and that's what really happened. Yeah, there are some that I paid for. Right. Because I don't do the whole photograph thing. If I able to get sneak in a photograph, I do it. But sometimes I just give them their dues. You know, there's people who I got that never got called up or didn't get called up to the upper shows, like Leo Rush. That was one of the first shoutouts that I got, and he was just chilling there like on his phone. But I remember I came there to watch him only, because he was HOG champion at that time. And I literally came in because I think he was still in Ring of Honor. So I told him about my show. Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, they just left, and they believe they were in HOG. They were in HOG too. And the next, I think, like 3 months later, they got called up to NXT. And they were very chill and you know. So I was able to get them, and I didn't pay them. They just did it for free because they showed them my channel. I told them what it was, and yeah. Same thing with Ricochet and Tessa Blanchard. They didn't. Well, Tessa was already in Impact, but Ricochet didn't get called up to WWE or NXT. And he liked the concept about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll do your shout out, man. You're cool as hell." So that's what happened. It's just all about, you know, being honest, and if you're very passionate about your work, you can tell when you speak it. Like you look back in memories, like damn, you know, and be like, yeah, I have this show, you know, it'll be nice. So for you fuckers who think that my show's only over because I got these shoutouts, no, they're just a treat. You know, that's like the cherry on top. But everything else is just hard work. If I can back up my show and it shows that, my show will put over the shout-outs itself.
You know what was if that's how people feel, I think that's kind of crazy, because what got my interest more, I thought the shout-outs was fucking dope, but what got my interest more was the fact of how much work you put into the actual match. Just a standard match in Xvpw is compiled of inside cutscenes, zoomed in camera, zoom, corner shots, face shots. I'm like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's better than my shit. You know what I mean? That's better than the standard shit that you see out in CAW. That's passion. That shit deserves credit, and I'll give you credit for that any day.
Like the way I thought of matches, right, is alright, so you take out the highlight reel, you still want to put on a really dope match, right? It's all about the storytelling. And think about it, you watch people here who who are in CAW, they watch a lot of fucking wrestling. They are wrestling fans. We've been watching wrestling since we were kids, right?
Right.
The way I think of matches, I love the idea of storytelling. You know, if you look at certain shows, they don't tell that storytelling. You take a highlight reel, it's still, I feel like I'm still watching two guys having two controllers in their hands, and they're not like telling the story. They're already going for like the finisher, or like you know, or whatever, you know.
Right.
In Xvpw, I like telling that story, and the way I learned about that. So four of my favorite matches was Brock and Kurt and Chris Benoit, Shibata versus Okada, Sakura Genesis, like those type of stories. And you can see that when I do certain matches. And one of my favorite matches that I ever choreographed was the main event for Money Shot, which is Rocky Patel versus D. Ryan Z for the Xvpw Championship. If you guys haven't seen that, and you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about, just go to my channel and you see it right there. And I call that match of the year. Because, and it's probably the best match in probably call history, because there's a story telling in that match, and that's what I feel like that's missing in CAW in general. If you can like take people to watch a CAW match and forget that and you make me forget it's a video game, that's like, that right there shows like the hard work that you put in, you know?
Right.
Because I had people tell me, yo, I totally forgot I was watching a video game. You know, you did it so well, and I'm like... And I tell my friends, like, who are, like, you know, like, what do you want me to do in your match? You know, what do you want me to tell? What story do you want me to tell outside of me telling a story? Like, what do you want, you know? And that's what's, like, I feel like that's what's booking, you know? If I'm booking J Kid versus like me, I'll tell J Kid, hey, what story do you want us to tell outside of we're just beating each other up? You know, is there anything that you want me to do? Right. How do you want me to book you? You know, or like, you want me to lose? All right, I'll lose, but I have to tell a story how I'm losing. Why did I lose that match? Can you tell me why did I lose that match? I'll tell you why I lose that match. You know, or I asked J Kid, how do you want to go over? You want me to hit you with your finisher? Okay, like I'll do my best to dodge your finisher all the time, but the time you hit me with your finisher, it's going to be very impactful because I made the mistake, or you know, stuff like that. And people don't really do that, you know. Like like I said, these last 2 years, I learned more about the industry than probably anybody else because one, I do photography for 3 independent shows. Capital Wrestling, shout out to Matt Ryan, who's now a booker in MLW. I did Pro Wrestling Magic, and I did Evolve. I took photos for Evolve. So I learned about that, and I talk to people. I watch enough documentaries. One of my favorite documentary is ECW. And hearing that story of Paul Heyman, and you know, he never gave up on his group, etc., etc. Like he's telling people how the match goes, doing promo, directing. Like for a person like me, especially for a person like you, like outside of content creators, we are directors, we are producers. So you have to have that mentality when putting on a show, right? Outside of the wrestling, you know.
Yep.
So that's always my mindset, and I love that. I think that's one thing I love about CAW is that I love freaking creating, you know. But yeah, so that's how I come up with matches and etc.
I want to jump back to the live scene that you had when you was meeting the Bucks and everybody. Man, let's put some people on the spot here. Man, who charged you for the shout outs, yo? Drop some names.
All right, people who I paid. Scott Hall, Mick Foley, because that's in Comic Con.
Okay.
Let me see.
Fucking Mick Foley.
He was cool. He's a very... Yo, my man is tall. Alright, so I'm gonna open my folder real quick and look at these retro shoutouts and see who I got. Okay. Charlie Caruso.
Really?
Dasha Fuentes. Jordan Grace. Loki. Tommy Dreamer. Who else I got? Private Party did it for free. So Pentagon, when I first saw him, I was a big fan of him, so I paid him because I wanted to get that picture. But when the Lucha Bros came, they didn't pay. I didn't pay them because they already knew me. And I remember Pentagon saying, "Hey, I got my brother with me, bro. I got my brother with me. We can do your shout out again." All right. So
that's nice. That's cool.
Yeah, he's really cool. AJ Kirsch, I paid him. The people who don't know who AJ Kirsch is, he's the voice of my player in 2K19.
Oh, okay.
So he does the voice of that. So I paid him. Billy Gunn and Bull James, I paid him. Darby Allin did it for free. Xvpw did it for free. Jay Lethal, I paid Jay Lethal. Jeff Cobb did it for free. Joey Ryan did it for free. I paid Johnny Gargano, and I paid Adam Cole. John Morrison did it for free. Cassis Ono did it for free. Kayla Braxton, I paid her. But yeah. So, yeah.
Shit. Okay. What?
So yeah, like I said, if you can ask me like how much did I spend on Extreme Retro Pro Wrestling, yeah, I paid. That's the reason why I have these freaking titles. I have the original NXT title because I needed a freaking championship for our champion, you know.
Right.
Then I got the second NXT title. I paid for that, so I paid 400, then I paid another 380. I needed. I always wanted the $1 million belt.
Right.
To be a legit belt, because that's such a sexy belt, and that's how I came up with the idea of Money Shot.
Such a sexy belt, he says.
That belt's sexy. Yeah.
Do you grab that ass when you look at the title, or do you smack that ass?
I smack the shit out of
it. He smacked the ass out of the title, yo. Out of all that you met, which one was your favorite one that you met? Men or women?
Out of the shoutouts,
yeah.
I believe it's Scott Hall.
He's your favorite one, okay?
Not because of the shoutout itself. It's because him and I had a 20-minute talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I told him I showed him the show, I told him about my idea. And he was giving me so much advice. He was giving me a lot of advice. The second one was Josh Matthews.
Oh, Josh Matthews.
So here I am. I'm in Impact. I'm with my camera. I'm taking pictures. Then I saw Josh Matthews. So I said, "Hey Josh, is there a way that you can shout out my show?" He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man, I can't." So next thing you know, I'm in the opposite side of the ring. I'm just chilling there, sitting, waiting for the show to start. I see Josh Matthews walk all the way back to me. He's like, "Hey, what do you mean shout out? Do you mean shout out your show while Impact is playing, or you want me to do a shout out just for your show specifically?" He's like, "Oh, just for me specifically, because I need it for my show." He's like, "Oh, sure, man, no problem." I'm like, holy shit.
Josh Matthews, you fucking cocksucker. God damn
This guy went all the way around to the ring. He's like, yeah. So he shout out my show.
That's cool though. He came back. That's cool.
He's doing the best shout out. That shit's like probably like a minute long, probably. The next thing you know, he's talking to me. So what's your show about? You know, like, is there a way that I can get in on it and something?
Oh shit.
Because Josh Matthews is really cool, you know, like, he's very chill. And I'm talking about my show, it's like video games and all that stuff. We're talking, and he's giving me advice. So keep in mind, I have now 2 people who's in production, one of them being a wrestler, and they're giving me advice to make my show like stand out, etc.
Right.
And all of them said the same exact thing. You just gotta make it have sense. Make your show have sense, you know.
Right.
And yeah, so that's another one.
What about the girls? Were the girls weird around you, or were they like super cool?
Oh, the girls were super cool. The one that's very chill that I got was Kayla Braxton. She was very friendly.
Oh, okay.
She's very chill. We talked for a little bit.
Corey
then she gave the
Flash
shout
likes
out.
her. Kayla Braxton.
Yeah, man. One of them, the really cool ones, were very down to earth, was the Beautiful People.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. So I was in Ring of Honor. So there's a specific reason why I was in Ring of Honor. Because they were doing a show in the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Oh, good place.
And Money Shot was in the Hammerstein Ballroom. So if I was able to get live footage of the Hammerstein Ballroom, it'll make sense that my show, I got live footage of the Hammerstein Ballroom in the 2K game, and I got live footage of the Hammerstein Ballroom from outside and inside. So yeah, that's the reason. And lucky for us, Ring of Honor was in the Hammerstein Ballroom. So I remember seeing, and I think that was the time it was the Briscoes versus God, also known as Tamatanga, and his brother. So yeah. So the first people like that was there was the Beautiful People. So I finally met them, and of course they were being very sweet and all that stuff. And I told them, "Hey, can you shout out my show?" And they're like, "Yeah, what your show is?" Like, "Oh, it's on Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. We basically like have our own show, but we're using a video game to play ourselves. And we talk about wrestling and all this." I was like, "Yeah, that's so cool. That's so badass." They fucked up so many times cutting their little like promo that they like, no, we're gonna get this right. We're gonna get this right. And they're like, all right. They're like, just have patience with us, you know. Like, all right, sure. And they finally got it right, and they did it for free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Surprise, my friend. Did it for free.
Like there's something like a funny one was Pentagon and Ray Phoenix. So Ray Phoenix has horrible promo skills that even his brother admit. Like, puta, like I'll do it. You can't say Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling, I'll do it. You know. He has a hard time. Like he has a hard time saying Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. I think that's why his brother's never on the fucking mic. Yeah. But yeah, it's just a couple of promo stories.
You do a lot of good shit, man. You making CAW real fucking special. That's real good.
Yeah, man. It's just you just gotta find a way to stand out among the rest, and I feel like I achieved that. Cause I really wanted, like, I didn't want to be like, yeah, people can admit, and I'll admit that Xvpw is very ECW motivated, you know.
Yeah, but it's a little different.
Because I lived through that era, and I admit, when I say that ECW is probably like my favorite show outside of nostalgia. Like it is like legit my favorite show, and I love hearing Paul Heyman's story when he told it in the documentary.
Right.
Because he had to compete with these guys. So when I'm doing Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling, I'm competing with everybody who's been doing it for years, you know?
Well, speaking
and
of...
I feel... Yeah, go ahead.
No, I want you to finish first. I thought you was finished. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Well, speaking of competing, I want to talk to you about... I don't know how much we'll dissect this, but I wanted to talk to you about AEW versus NXT. Now, from my understanding, you don't seem to be a big fan of AEW. How could you not? That's what I want to know.
Okay. Alright, so I don't hate AEW. I don't hate AEW. I love that there's competition. I love that the flipping of channels. Oh, what should I watch first and whatnot. But I feel that AEW is an indie show with like with an $80 million budget. You know, when I expect from AEW, I didn't expect at all. Like, I didn't expect this.
Well,
so
what's this?
So this is a good example. This is a good example. All right. For example, Pentagon. Right. I'm a big fan of fucking Pentagon.
Right. I mean, who isn't? He's great.
So I told my friend, who's Tony, because I got him to watching the indies and all that stuff. There gotta be a time where you can do indie shit in an indie show, in a live show, and you'll go over. But if you're gonna see that shit every Wednesday, doing Sierra Miedo again and again and again every Wednesday, sooner or later, that shit's not gonna go over. You know? Or why does everybody gotta have a fucking dive? Every show, every match has a freaking dive.
You're right. You're right.
Or another concept of an example. Then I told you the story. Like, why does the amount of finishers done, or these high spots done, it takes away from what people's gonna do in the next match, and the next match, and the next match, because everything is a freaking high spot. So there has to be a certain balance, you know?
Right.
Because you can get away with doing indie stuff and indie show, but you can't do it in front of a million of like an audience that is gonna see it every Wednesday. Sooner or later, it's gonna get tiring.
Yep.
I figured save that good stuff for your big pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Tease it, you know. And I feel like that's where NXT got it right. They know when to do the big stuff in the big show. So now I'm seeing, like, for example, Bucks versus anybody, Bucks versus Pentagon and them, or Bucks versus LAX, which is a fucking dream match back in the day. Now look at it like, damn, this kind of sucks, you know, because Bucks is doing crazy amount of good, amazing wrestling, like, you know, stuff that's never been seen before in other shows, but now they're doing it so many times that what am I supposed to see in this big pay-per-view revolution?
Yep.
Like, you're able to get away with it in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Why? Because not many people has access to NJPW, like the American audience that have access to NJPW. So now you're telling the story, yo, check out this ill-ass tag team, they're freaking amazing. You go to AEW, it's like, alright, I see the big deal now, but now what am I expect from this pay-per-view that I'm about to watch? You know?
You're right.
Like when you watched All Out, that was a really kick-ass pay-per-view. It's a good way to kickstart AEW.
Right.
Because the Bucks is telling their story that, yo, we have to get ready for this match. Do we still have it? Alright, cool. You saw an All Out pay-per-view. Perfect.
Right.
But now when you tune in every Wednesday, is like, shit, these guys are gonna freaking hurt themselves because they're doing it for the sake of the audience, but doing that shit every freaking Wednesday is gonna take a toll in your body that now, okay, now so-and-so injured, or, cause you see the botches, you see everything.
Yeah.
Now it's like, that's why I feel like NXT is smart, because they don't go all out. They give you little by little, but sooner or later, your body's gonna take a toll on you, and you know, and there's no consistent, like, I feel like, maybe now there is, like, huge consistency of, like, okay, the storytelling is amazing, and all that. They're finally doing, I feel like the most over guy right now is Hangman Page, with his alcoholic storyline.
Yeah.
But really, that's your top storyline?
I can't argue because I gotta.
The Kenny Omega story. Alright, so I'm a big fan of Kenny Omega.
Right.
Huge fan. In Xvpw, I feel like you're, and I know he's booking himself this way. There's no way that you can have a top star like Kenny Omega and you book him to be so weak now.
Mm.
But if you're telling the people who's out, like, who's big Kenny fans, all right, I'm a huge Kenny fan. I'm like, yo, this guy's amazing. I can't wait to show him and you know, I can't believe he's gonna be the top guy. It's gonna be him and Jericho and John Moxley. Like, these are the 3 top guys, and now they're in AEW. And I'm like, crap. Why is he booking? He's like, this is your guy, really, Max? This is your favorite wrestler? Like, why? You know? And I'm like, ah. Cause I feel like you're degrading, or you're there's like a certain word that why you're making your guy look weak, you know?
He's like
when he's known as the best, like, that's like saying Okada, the #1 pro wrestler in probably wrestling history right now in the last year, and he's gonna go to this show and he's gonna be like the mid-carder.
Right.
You're taking your credit or your credibility out, and this is what's happening, and you're not supposed to book yourself that way.
Right.
If you're a top guy, make sure that you're the top guy. Example, you're Jay Kidd. Why do people make you face Chuck Norris? Right?
Oh shit.
You understand where I'm coming from now, right?
Shots fired. Well,
you're
no,
Jay Kidd.
Of course, but I mean, you must have realized that Kenny Omega's value was gonna diminish now that he wasn't with the New Japan thing, fighting Okada and people like that.
No, it doesn't even matter if you're diminishing, like, it doesn't, because I feel like you need to continue that on. You need to make people realize, why are you that guy? Look at AJ Styles. He didn't go to NXT. He went straight to the Royal Rumble and he was booked well. Right. He didn't book, like, you know, or Adam Cole. You know, he didn't get booked. Like, he didn't get booked weak. They booked him strong enough and how he's worked. Or Finn Balor, right? Oh, a good one. It's Finn Balor, to be honest. He graduated from NXT and he was already in the top title scene. Yeah, he got injured, but he didn't book himself. They booked him in strong enough to point where, like, okay, you're gonna be in the title scene. You're gonna be this type.
Right. You're
not gonna lose. We're always gonna protect your image. You know, but now here's Kenny Omega. He's losing. He's putting, like, my man's like a top star, international star, and now he's losing like that. Like, really? Yeah, I understand why they put it on Jericho, because he's a very well-known name. American audiences know him.
Right, absolutely.
What they should have done, even if you're gonna make Kenny Omega lose, keep booking him and Chris Jericho, making him have this long rivalry, and make Jericho say, "You're never gonna win," blah blah blah. But at least you're in that top storyline.
Yeah.
You know, they're not gonna put you in, like, those, like, a wax where you're losing against these street matches and stuff like that.
Right.
Why are you having a broom with barbed wire? Really, you're lowering your value.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I kind of agree with that.
Like, why are you giving your man this type of image? You're supposed to be the top guy. Make, like, you know, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, it's indie budget. It's an indie wrestling show with a huge budget.
I personally don't see AEW as an indie place. I think it's professional wrestling. Again, back again. They're just, you know, I mean, they mostly beat NXT most of the time, but I don't really care about that. I just don't see them as an indie place. I see them as like a mainstream place. But I want to argue with you about that, but I can't. That's why I've been quiet listening to you. I got to say that I agree with a lot of what you said. I do agree that Kenny Omega's value's gone down, or I don't know why he's looking himself that way. I do agree that they do a lot of high spots every fucking Wednesday, and it's kind of overkill because it's like, it's the same shit. At one point in time, I remember watching for like 3 weeks in a row. I'm like, yo, like every week is just the Bucks flying around doing flips. Like, I'm like, bro, like, this is going to be a problem. And then you got a lot of people that fly, you know. So as much
like,
as
I don't mind it. Like, if I need to, like, I watch NXT not because I'm, you know, outside of, like, I've been watching NXT for God knows how long. I remember I started watching NXT after the Shield debuted.
Right.
And I remember seeing the first class of, it was Kevin Owens, Neville. They got Sami Zayn already. So that was the peak. That was like, okay, I'm watching this with a fresh new eye, you know? And I liked the way stuff was done. It was simple. Like, keep it simple, but the wrestling was fantastic, you know? Like, NXT, there's a point where I stopped watching NXT because, like, okay, damn, like, they lost Asuka, like, what the hell's gonna happen? They have to raise the women's division up.
Right.
But they were always consistent, and they didn't have to go overboard. They saved all the good stuff at takeovers. Fun fact, I've been to every Brooklyn takeover, and I have shirts to prove that. But now I'm watching AEW with a fresh new, you know, okay, it's a simple formula. How could they possibly mess it? There's stuff I love about AEW. One of them is the vignettes. I love the vignettes. That's what makes them stand out. But outside of that, okay, the wrestling, okay. But you can make an argument and say that, oh, NXT does the same exact thing because the wrestling's the same, you know? But outside of that, it's like, okay, these guys do it so many times, what do I look for in the pay-per-view? Like, I'm paying like, keep in mind, they don't have a network. So if I have to watch AEW, I have to pay $60, and these guys are doing the same exact shit in a regular TV show. High-flying spots. If I'm watching freaking Orange Cassidy, he's gonna do the same exact shit. Like, you can predict what's happening.
I give you that one.
High spot, high spot, high spot. Everybody's not in the ring. Here comes Orange Cassidy. Put on the thing. Oh, now I'm gonna watch these guys hug. Best friend's gonna hug now. Cool. What am I expect from the next show? Same exact shit.
What I kind of hate about the way they're producing Orange Cassidy, they're trying to make him look like this badass cool guy. But I hate when somebody puts their hands on him. It's like, bro, like, he's supposed to be cool. Why are you having people swing on him and he don't do nothing about it? You know what I mean? I mean, he'll get back, yeah, but it's just like, there's times when people are super kick him and bully him and shit. It's like, I'm like, I hate it. I'm like, man, like, nobody should touch Orange Cassidy if they're going to make him that cool. Just don't touch him.
Yeah.
You know?
Just don't touch him, yeah.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love it. I love AEW.
Right.
You know, I just love wrestling in general.
Right.
But these are, like, constructive criticism that, like, you have to be real with yourself.
It's annoying, yeah.
You know, you have to be real. Right now, what Jericho's doing is perfect.
Right.
You know, keep the belt on him at all times.
I agree.
Don't let anybody, because that's what's going to make people watch AEW. Because why? Jericho is educating these guys, like, you guys got to stop. Like, especially the tag division. These lucha rules, no. Like, and that's what I'm saying. This, like, I'm talking about the indies. You can get away with stuff in the indies where you can accidentally not tag someone and still be in the ring. Because why? The audience is hooked on what's happening with these high spots that they forget who's the legal man. But when you're in live television and you're literally watching this, and we're like, he's the legal man. Stop. Don't, you know?
Yeah.
And you can tell. And I think that's what I like about Impact Wrestling. If you're gonna watch a really good AEW with the same exact shit, Impact does it correct. Because they still have the same exact thing with the same exact vignettes, but Impact gets it right because they have directors, producers, people who's gonna do this type of thing. You know, like they're good about the high spots, but they don't go overboard with it. That's I think, and what got me into LAX and Pentagon and the Future Bros is because of Impact Wrestling. They know how to do it right. But when you have Tony Khan, who's Booker, and you have all these guys that's not really, they're just doing shit. They're just doing stuff. Here's your time limit. Put us a good 15-minute match. Do whatever. We're gonna cut on to the next one. But at least in Impact, they have these segments and they know how to keep the audience hooked. And there's such a smaller crowd. And I'm just going overboard. I could just go on about this shit.
No, that's why we're here. It's all about the passion. I was watching NWA before me and you got talking, and I enjoyed the shit out of it. I think they're doing good shit over there also. That's a show I can sit down and actually watch. So I'm absolutely with you. I think for my last thing I'll get at, that's if you want to talk about it, I wanted to maybe cover the topic of your beef with New Era.
Alright, so there's not really beef. It's more of my beef with the whole entire cock community.
Right.
Like I'm cool with Rod Romaine. He's cool. He's a newcomer coming in. But my beef with basically CAW is don't say you're the best, you're the most extreme, you're this and that when you don't have stuff to back it up. That's my beef.
But you feel like he was ripping your shit off.
So, before you guys listen to this, I just want to say that commercial that we did is just a commercial. I didn't really, him and I didn't say all that in the podcast. That was just for people to be like, what the fuck?
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah.
Selling point. I get that.
Yeah. Him and I have the same understanding of like, yo, let's do this. Like, fuck it.
Right.
Yeah. But my beef is basically is the whole entire comment. Don't say that you're the shit, you're the best, and all that stuff, and you don't have the stuff to back it up. I've seen people who get on us and say, I don't see what the big deal about Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. My shit's better. Alright, now you have a guy who's literally gonna go into your channel and watch your stuff. And I'd be like, no, you're another share button guy. I'm gonna make the show and I'm gonna just press the share button and boom. Yeah, your arena looks cool. I can say that. Your arena is dope. But outside of that, no.
Right. Shit, well, this has been a fucking insightful Live and Uncensored. Goddamn, we've learned so much from Maximillion here with Xvpw. Shit. What events you got coming up, man? What's coming for Xvpw?
Alright, so we're gonna have One Night the Light. There's gonna be new episodes of One Night the Light. For people who don't know what One Night the Light is, it's basically Xvpw's second show. One Night the Light is basically a 30-minute episode with only one match.
Right.
And these are for people who are signed with Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling, but didn't get to join their main roster yet, but they are in our roster, and they're gonna showcase what they do and why I signed them. And you're just gonna see them at work, They're gonna put on a really amazing match for you. Season 3 is already in preparation. That's gonna be. I don't want to spoil anything about that, but there will be a season 3. I do have an idea, a show that I want to do with working with other shows. Hopefully JTV, New Era would be part of it. It's going to be called Collision Course. That's going to be a new playlist / a new show in our channel where we work with the other shows, and we'll put on like one match each episode.
Right.
New vlogs here and there, new podcasts here and there, and yeah, I don't feel like I'm gonna retire this channel anytime soon. And Red Billy Dog, yeah, how do we get in? Just hit me up on my DMs, man. Slide into my DMs, bro. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff. And the reason why I'm doing all of this is because I want it to be the go-to channel, not just for CAW, but just to put on a really good wrestling channel.
Right.
You know?
Which you have.
Basically, yeah.
You have that.
Yeah.
You guys just got to get behind the machine. You guys got to check out Xvpw. It's full of surprises, and he puts a lot of work into it. And I keep talking about
and
that.
your channel too, bro. Like,
well,
one thing I love about your channel is literally you do stuff that's also outside of wrestling, which is these movies, Road Rash. I love this shit.
Really?
The amount of effort that you put into these type of stuff is amazing.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Means a lot. I mean, we do our shit, but I mean, people gonna watch no matter what. I put a video up of my dog shaking his ass, and people gonna watch and listen no matter what, you know. But we're talking about Xvpw right now. Xvpw is what we're talking about. We're here for you. This is about you, not about us. You know. So I want people, like, I'm challenging everybody watching, listening, who's gonna listen to this, who's gonna watch it. Check out Xvpw. It's good. It's good shit. He puts
if you don't have time to watch all the episodes, yeah, that's why I break them down. Like I'll upload the whole entire episode, but I'll break down the episodes into certain matches so people can see which match to watch, you know. And if you guys want to watch a really good freaking Xvpw episode, just check out the last episode, which was Money Shot, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, that's enough to back it up right there of like matches and telling the story, just everything put into one. Like, okay, I see why it did it. Yeah,
shout out to Pat Patterson and Paige. Too sweet.
Yeah, man.
So with all that good shit going on and excitement building, shit. I lost my train of thought here for a moment. We're live. That's
why it's uncensored.
Live and uncensored, baby. You obviously got a lot going on, and you're not done yet. You know, we're gonna be working closely, and a lot is gonna be accomplished, man. I think 2020 is looking up for Xvpw. I wish you nothing but the best of luck with your brand. I don't think you should ever none of the channels. Keep on doing your thing. YouTube and the world needs people like you who are considerate, artistic, talented entrepreneurs who set a standard. You're a standard setter, you know, a trend setter, and also, you know, you're setting the bar for a lot of the guys in CAW. And from one promoter to another, I respect you, and I give Xvpw a shitload of credit. Just keep on doing your thing, man. You're on your way.
Oh, thanks, dude. I really appreciate it, man.
Now, tomorrow on the Xvpw channel, the box office hit Kevin Impact will be live on Xvpw. I will be talking to this man right here. So you don't want to miss that. You can subscribe right now to his channel so you don't miss out. Hit the bell notification. You could do the same with this. Well, you can hit thumbs up on this video, but his shit tomorrow is going to be lit. 5 p.m. Eastern time zone. I will be there live talking to this man. Max, what can they expect from that special interview?
Just understand that this guy went in. This guy did not hold back. It was such a really good interview. I was really looking forward to have him in my channel and to interview him. And we went in. I went on you. I went in on yours, but you went in, man. You let it all out, and I learned more about you than I probably ever have. It's pretty dope.
That's what happened with me tonight with you. I learned a lot more. It was very interesting to hear, but it seems like you put a lot of work and spent your own money into this shit, and I think that's impressive. I've done a little bit of that. I've put money into JTV just a little bit, not a lot, but you know, we have passion for this and we love what we do. You know, this is not necessarily our everyday life like that, but it's a big part of our lives, and it's just very enjoyable and very fun. So
yeah, man. Like art, like I love creating, man. I love creating. It's one of the things that I love to do. It's in my heart, and I feel like if I don't create, I'm not living. I'm just alive, you know.
Right. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I get that.
Yeah, it keeps me alive, man.
Well, we are getting ready to wrap up this episode here. If y'all got any questions for Max, you might want to pump them up into the comment section right now before we wrap up. But I'm basically handing the free mic over to you, Max. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the people, or any message you want to send?
Yeah, man, like, if you love doing what you're doing, then there's no holding back, yo. Right. I put in, if I'm able to put in a lot of effort into the work I do, especially Kid, Kevin, especially for those who actually put in work into their shows, like El Dorado, COH, you know, those people deserve the credit they get. You know, they put in a lot of work. I see it, and I wish that a lot of people can see that. You know, yeah, I get on like El Dorado or CUH, but it's all clean fun because I love competing. You know, I love the competition, and I want to do my best to put my product out there. You know, I see Ryan Paul, who's owner of El Dorado. And if you watch his channel right now, like that highlight reel, he does a lot of stuff with highlight reel now. I don't want to say I started it. There's people who probably started it. But the fact that he's doing that, he knows what's up now. You know, people like Ray Gaddis, like he puts in a lot of effort into his shows. So that's the reason why, and those are the reasons why I shut those people out. You know? Right. And that's the reason why I call them out. Because I want to say, hey, I see you guys. I know what the fuck you're doing, but I'm gonna do it better now. You know, like when I remember seeing when Trey Jeter showed me JTV's channel, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, holy shit, this is my competition right here. I can't do what he does, but I'm gonna do my best to stand out like he does. You know, and that's a comment. That's not an insult. That's like, yo.
I mean, you can do what we do probably a little better, but the thing is, I don't know if you can do it as often as we do it. You because for you to edit it to be that good in the time span that we put out those 2 to 3 weeks, it's not going to be that simple. It takes time.
No,
you know?
It takes time. Exactly.
It takes time. But that's why
you won't believe how many times I watch your show. I'm like, yeah, how did he do that? Well, or like the music and everything. I'm like dissecting, like, wow.
Yeah, because you know, as a person, you that's just, oh, how can I do that? You know what I mean? I want to do that. So I get that. I do the same. I watch other shows and I think, okay, what can I do to do that? Because that looks good. You know, I remember looking at your shit and thinking the same thing. Okay, that looks kind of cool. I want to know how I can do that because he made that shit look real. You know, I think of it that way. So sometimes I light a fire up under my own ass, like, oh, so Maxie is doing what? He's zooming into matches. I got to zoom into matches. You know, I got to figure out how do I do that. But it's time consuming. We're like kind of like the NWA a little bit in the sense that it's like a direct forward wrestling show. Just go forward. You know what I mean? The storytelling works more when you know the product and you know the wrestlers, but you don't know them and you're just flipping around CAW and you see me and somebody else going at it. you're probably not going to stick around because it's like most people don't want to see that. You know, it's boring to them. Some people, different people are into different markets. There's a market of fans that are into your stuff, which is basically the fuck you extreme and you know, zooming in storytelling. People that are into JTV are going to be into, oh, there's Big Quack, there's Kevin Impact is saying this, oh, there's a pipe bomb, or I know who these guys are, this is going to be a great match. And then there's people that are into a simulation market, that they're into the well-fit, well-edited. You know what I'm saying? We stick to the PvP, but we do work simulation at times. But there's other people that are into simulation more. I think PvP is where it's at, though. But, you know, simulation, well-edited, well done, people are going to watch your product if it's well done. They're going to. So,
no, definitely.
That's just how it goes. I wanted to, as we close out, I wanted to ask you, is my mic on? Okay.
Yeah, it's on.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about your ethnicity, man. You know, I saw you speaking a little Spanish there and stuff like that, so I'm just wondering.
Oh, I'm Filipino.
Okay.
And I'm a little bit of Puerto Rican too.
All right, my man,
yeah,
my man. That's what I'm talking about. All right. All right, so shout out to us then. We're taking over.
Hell yeah. Are you Puerto Rican?
I am half Puerto Rican, half Cuban.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit of what you are, and then I'm a little bit of Tony Montana too. You fucking.
Yo, I want some mofongo, bro. If you know any mofongo spots.
Mofongo is good. I mean, there's some good places on 55th where they got some good food. You might want to check out sometime. I mean, we're gonna talk about food later on, man. When we gather up with the crew, you already know. But
oh yeah, man, I love food, bro. Shit.
I was gonna ask you about it, but it would have been the whole podcast. So in closing this episode now, if someone wanted to pursue a career in Xvpw, where can they contact you?
All right, so we get this question a lot. Some people say, yo, how can I join? And I'm like, are you 18 and older?
Absolutely.
That's one thing that I always stress out.
Absolutely.
Are you 18 and older?
Yep.
Okay, cool. You don't need a PS4. That's another one. You don't need a PS4. I can create your guy.
Okay.
A big part of being part of the Xvpw roster is basically have to give yourself the mindset that I'm legit joining a Fed. Because when I see that, you have the professionalism of it.
Right.
A lot of people in Xvpw are very professional and outside of what they do. It's because you need that. There's people who join other people's rosters and be like, no, fuck this, I'm leaving. After I just wrote a whole entire story and how I'm gonna book you,
Quitters.
You're gonna leave, you're gonna ghost.
Right.
We had a guy, and I don't care, I'm gonna call his ass out. And you can put him on fucking thing. We had a guy named Aether Adamus. I had a guy named Aether Adamus. I showcased this vignette for the first half of the season. And I'm like, hey dude, I'm about to do your match. You know, what do you want me to exactly. My man ghosted on me. He does not answer none of my messages. I'm like, okay. We're still friends on freaking Facebook. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
We're still friends on Facebook. I see him comment. I see him post. But my man ghosted on me.
But he won't reply to you. How convenient.
He don't reply. At all. And that kind of in the part made me upset. Because we were cool for the whole entire time. We're talking, etc., etc.
Right.
But when it comes to Extreme Virtual Wrestling, hey, I need a promo, blah, blah, blah. Can you give this to me? No rushes. I'm very humble. I'm very fucking humble.
I see.
But I guess for the fact that he's in COH and El Dorado, and, the fact that I have quote-unquote beef with them, kayfabe, blah, blah, blah. But I guess they take it personal. That they're telling him, yo, don't talk to him, don't give him no mind. I'm like, all right, whatever. So now I'm not going to showcase you, but it kind of pisses me off that I wasted time creating all of this, and this guy does not fucking hit me up and not answer not one of my messages. So that professionalism right there, like, yo, that's kind of fucked up. But I have a guy like M Accuracy, who's part of those two freaking feds, and he's the most coolest guy ever. He understands where I'm coming from, and like he knows my group. That's actually the second person who signed with our roster that I'm letting into our circle. That's actually part of the CAW scene, the CAW scene. Like everybody in Extreme Virtual Wrestling from the main roster, like I said, we got into this not knowing that there's a whole entire scene about this. So now we're letting a guy who's been doing this for years come in our circle, who, you know, we have beef with their other feds, kayfabe wise, but he's really freaking amazing in our roster, and like, and I can't wait to showcase him in season 3. And the reason why I recruited him, because he understands, he has the professionalism. Hey, let's get this stuff done. What kind of story you want me to tell, etc., etc. And we talk, you know, and we actually communicate with each other and how to book each other and all that stuff. So he knows, and my crew respects the shit out of him.
Right.
You know, but I have a guy who I signed, Aether, and now he's not giving me the respect of just answer my fucking message.
Right.
But you're gonna ghost and post all this other shit, and really, you're not gonna pay me no mind? All right, whatever. Fuck you then. I hate that. I don't like that, and that's the reason why I don't tolerate that shit in Xvpw. As long as you're professional, you're cool, you're down to earth, you don't don't show any time disrespectful. If I get a good vibe off you, all right, let's work, let's create. You know, we can work on promos. If you're horrible at promo skills, I'm gonna make sure that you're gonna do your best to cut a really dope promo. You're not gonna cut a 10-minute promo, but you're gonna cut a 1 minute. You're gonna cut a really good 1 minute 30 promo, and we're gonna, we're not gonna shoot that shit in portrait mode. You know,
right?
It's just like, why? Like, it's like simple, man. It's simple as shit. Just, but people don't get that sometimes. But yeah, if you want to be part of Xvpw, you got to be professional. You got to be 18 and older. Majority of it is cutting live segments, so you have to be good in the mic. You have to be confident in yourself to cut a really good promo. And you can't have the mentality of, I'm gonna win, I need a title shot. No, we don't do that shit here. You gotta work for that.
As it should be.
Mm-hmm.
But is there an email though where they can contact you, or because I know you got the Facebook page.
You can email it. So Xvpw, where we can basically email us at extremevirtualprowrestling@gmail.com.
There you go.
You can hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on Instagram, Twitter. We have all that. So it's Twitter, Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. Instagram, XVPW_YT. We do have an Xvpw like page. You can send in your audition, which is your promo, of why should Xvpw sign you. And there you go.
There it is. Unless Max takes interest in you, he sees you're a good talent and he scouts you and picks your ass up. That's how you can get into Xvpw. So don't miss the opportunity.
Funky Carter, no, we don't have a website.
At least not yet.
No, at least not yet. Correct. But yeah, if you're friends with Kevin Impact, then I'm pretty sure you can find me.
Oh yeah, Funk Man's my man, you know what I'm saying? That's my homeboy right there. He's my favorite JTV star. The Funky Man, Funky Card. So so yeah, that's pretty much about it right there. You know, we got your shit out there. Xvpw's all over the place. Follow his pages, subscribe to his channel. Add him as a friend on Facebook. You know, let's get him out there. Let's get it out there.
I am such a troll on Facebook. I am a troll.
He sure is. Believe me.
I'm a fucking troll, man. But you know what? Now you guys know me. I'm humble. I'm very respectful, but I am a fucking troll. So, yeah.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the conclusion of this episode. We want to thank our guest, Xvpw's Maximillion, for being here in the building. And we hope to see him again, come back on the show soon sometime. We talk about some more stuff maybe. And
yo, man, Royal Rumble, bro. Let's go, Brock Lesnar.
I'm not going to watch that.
Mama's going to take it.
I'm not going to watch that piece of shit, but if y'all going to watch the Royal Rumble, enjoy yourselves. You know. 3 out of 10, baby. 2K, you going to fucking hell. Fix your fucking game. God damn it. Fix your fucking game. We having a hard time out here. I'm about to have a whole Godfather meeting with every content creator out there that I could find, and we finna bring everybody in this fucking show, and we finna get a petition, and we finna get everybody to vote, and we finna get all the promoters and everybody CW involved to kick your ass, because you gotta fix your goddamn game. Too much splitting, too much crashing, shit doesn't work. I understand 1 or 2 things being messed up with the game. I don't expect it to be perfect, but goddamn, this game, you literally gave us a game with 10,000 scratches on it. It don't work, and you want to take our money. Fix your fucking game, 2K. God damn it. Max, once again, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, man.
All right, y'all. Yeah, last words, Max.
Deuces.
So with that being said, we want to thank all of y'all for watching and listening in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Max mentioned, well, we're going to have a very interesting guest on a very special, on the very next episode of Live and Uncensored, episode 12, but
oh shit,
got to stay tuned for that.
Like, come subscribe to Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling and to JTV. Share this shit. Fuck you, Aether Adamus. I finally let that out.
And with that being said, if you can, top that.
Top that.